Hi there and welcome back. This is going to be stage 2 kombucha fermentation. This is an optional step, but it's my favorite step because I really like to infuse flavor into my second stage of fermentation. And when you do second stage fermentation, you can put fizzy carbonation in your kombucha, which I think takes it to a whole nother level. I've got Levi here. He's my assistant for the day. He's probably going to pop in and give us his input along the way. So what we have here, this was made on the 2nd and it's now the 8th. So this batch is officially on day 6 of fermentation, which means it's time to definitely taste it to see if it's ready for stage 2. Let's try it. I've got the type of bottle that has a spigot on the bottom. That's what I prefer. Some people will not get the type with the spigot on the bottom and then they'll just take like a straw or dip a ladle in and grab it out, but I just think this is so much easier. So this is just my preferred way. All I do is I take my smaller strainer and put it over my glass. Hopefully you can see this. Take it to the edge and let a little bit go through. Really didn't even need the strainer. It hasn't caught anything, but I don't really like to get floaties in mine. So I have here about 3 or 4 ounces of stage 1 kombucha. So let's see. There's still quite a bit of sugar in this, so I could technically let it go another day, but it's okay. The extra sugar will help stage 2 to get even fizzier because it's going to be the sugar and the caffeine in the tea, the sugar in the fruit, the sugar that's already left in here that's really going to propel the next stage, which is bottling. So I'm going to show you my little... All right, so what I usually do to get it out of here, and you don't want to take your entire batch. You want to leave at least like a cup or 2 of fluid at the bottom, and then your scoby, your symbiotic culture of yeast and bacteria, is also going to be there. So you need that little bit of starter fluid, that extra bit of tea that's at the bottom, couple cups, cup and a half, to like get the next batch going. So whenever I do my bottling, I also go ahead and get my next batch going kind of at the same time. We have our 6-day-old batch of kombucha, stage 1 here. Take the top off and we have a nice healthy scoby that has formed on the top. I always look and make sure that no fruit flies have gotten in because that batch has to be scrapped. If you have fruit flies that have gotten into your batch, or if you see mold, which mold is far less likely. I've never had mold, but I have had a fruit fly get in. But we have a very healthy scoby here. And you see, I don't know if you can tell the difference or if you remember how much darker the tea was when we first put it in. It tends to lighten as it ferments. So if I were to even wait a couple of more days, we would see that this would turn even more golden colored. So what I do next is I take my pitcher and I do the same thing. I just strain it through. Levi's here watching. All right, I'm probably gonna leave it about like that for now. I'm gonna have to, and you know, it's really better to keep it covered because you don't, fruit fly can get in at any time. So the less amount of time that it's covered, the better. So what we're going to do is I have, take a little sip, a little break here. Here. Levi, you want to try it? You don't want to try it? No? Okay. Like it doesn't come in a sippy cup, I don't want it. Okay. The next thing we're going to do, sometimes I will put a little bit of honey, like squirt a little bit of honey into each of these jars. But since this still has, you know, a good deal of sweetness left in it, I think this time I'm actually gonna skip that step. So I'm just gonna cut some of the deadness off of this ginger. You don't have to cut it all off because you're not gonna eat it. You're gonna strain all that out later. But you want it to be open to where all this incredible gingeriness can get into your kombucha. The other thing is these pieces need to be small enough to fit through the top of the bottle. You don't want to be shoving them down or forcing them down there because that's just going to make it that much harder for you to get those pieces out when it comes time to clean the bottle. You can get special brushes with these, with the kits that are sold on Amazon for cleaning these homebrew, I think they call them Grolsch style bottles. It's for fermenting beer or, you know, all kinds of things like kombucha. So this here should be pretty good because it's not like I have to force it to go down into this little hole like that. It'd be even better if I made it even smaller. So I'll go ahead and cut it in half. And just keep cutting, keep cutting. I love the finished product. That's really what it's all about for me, is the finished product. I mean, if you're a person that loves soda, have a hard time giving up soda, this is a great alternative. I mean, I still do drink some soda, but not as much as I used to. It's usually when I run out of kombucha that I reach for the soda again. So, okay, well, let's see how much more I really even need. I mean, it's really up to your discretion how much you put in each bottle. Depends on what kind of fruit you're putting in there. And, you know, depending on the size of the batch you make and how much of the kombucha you drink as you're making it and as you're testing it through the days, is, you know, you're just going to have to kind of play it by ear of how many bottles you're going to need. But basically, I have a gallon jar here for brewing. You're not going to use the whole gallon because you're reserving some of that starter liquid for your next batch. So, of course, it depends on how much starter you tend to reserve. But a 6-pack of bottles would probably get you started for your very first batch. And then if you like to have like a continuous brew going to where, you know, as you have 1 gallon going for stage 1, you've got the other ones going in your stage 2, which actually takes less time than stage 1. You'll end up needing more supplies, but if you really haven't tried doing this yet, start small and you can always order more. Just so that you know, and for your own convenience, you can go to the description box below this video if you're watching it from YouTube and get links to all the products that I'm using. Or if you go to my blog, I wrote an article about this. The instructions are there and the links are there too. So my blog is sameve.com. Super easy to remember. All right. This is a lot of ginger. I think it's gonna taste fantastic. So I've got garlic. I've got ginger here in the bottom of all 4 of these jars. If I need to do any more, I've got more ginger in the fridge. I'm also going to put, probably end up needing more jars because of what I'm about to do here. Instead of using fresh fruit, this time I want to try to do, let me move this out of the way. I want to try organic 100% fruit juice. Now this is an Ocean Spray product, 100% juice, organic cranberry. It really doesn't matter what brand you use. The important thing is that you're using organic and that it's 100% juice. So again, this is kind of just, you know, how far do you want to go with the juice versus the tea. So I'm just going to kind of put an inch worth in each. And then if I think that's too much, then next time I'll add less. Some of them ended up having more. We're just kind of playing it by ear. So now we can go ahead and add the kombucha. What you doing, Levi? Yeah? All right. You want to leave a little room at the top because as the carbon dioxide forms for the carbonation, it's got to have, I mean, there has to be some room at the top. I can already tell that this batch is already quite fizzy. I see a lot of air, a lot of carbon dioxide in this batch as it is. So by the time this next stage, all right, so now we need to fill up this the rest of the way. My strainer. As it gets down to the bottom, the strainer becomes more and more important. I haven't actually strained anything out of this yet, but just in case. My assistant's down here helping. I don't know if you can tell. Just a minute. That's about all I want to take out right there. Okay. And see, there's really nothing in this. Okay. A little bit more. Yeah, because I added juice, I'm gonna need maybe a couple more, and look at all of the bubbles that are already in this first fermentation. I don't know if the camera really focused in on it very well, but that's a lot of bubbles. Wait till you see after just a few days, maybe even just a day, 2 days, second fermentation, you're just gonna be blown away. To get these out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and close up these lids. They close up with this little lever style thing. You just, I don't know if you can see, you just push down and it's got like a little rubber piece. It creates a seal. And it's so fizzy already that I have to wait for the bubbles to go down. Okay, and the rest I'm gonna drink. Okay, so I've got 6 bottles. I thought that would probably be about the most that I would end up with. It's always good to enjoy a little bit of the fruit of your labor. Cheers. It's good. A little sweeter than what I would want, but most people like theirs a little sweeter. I don't mind mine a little bit more on the vinegary side. The next stage will be you watching me open one of these, and sometimes a little explosion happens, similar to when you open a bottle of champagne. So this is the kombucha of champagne. Well, thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, like the video, more to come, and visit sammy.com.